It has been a while. I stepped away from this mini-series to actually play games, so now I plan on finishing it, so let's go ahead and look at our current roster. Okay, so we currently have 4 low-tier monsters, 3 mid or high, and then 2 apex monsters. Gogmazios is not making the list, as I doubt that he's going to be venturing the entire Oilwell Basin, or more than one area at all. But for subspecies of these monsters, we could have Purple Gypsaros. Pink and Gold Rathian could also be a choice. I don't think they might go with Azure and Pink for those subspecies, but Silver Rathalos as well in Apex tier. And we could see the return of Black Gravios. Getting into Gen 1 monsters that could be returning, we could possibly get Basarios, though I see them having to add in Basarios rocks around the map for disguises. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of like Rise and he's just going to be walking around. No point in having burrowing be a part of his gimmick. The only other monster available in Gen 1 is Kezu and Red Kezu. And since they had Kezu in the Lava Caverns in Monster Hunter Rise, they could do what they did with Nucilla and have them mainly stay with the cave area of the map and possibly up top. When it comes to Generation 2, a Cantor is too big. He's not getting back in unless he's sharing the same arena as Gogmazios. And another one that's not coming in would probably be Lavasioth, because we had a Lavasioth situation in World that didn't really work out well. I don't really want it again. But the two most obvious in Gen 2 would be Tigrex and Rajang. They're both invaders that will very much take their seats in the volcanic regions of, well, the entire region of the Oilwell Basin. But one you might not expect is Cianator. We could have Cianator spend most of its time at the top regions of the basin, and it could also reintroduce Terra Shogun Cianator and have him be more at the bottom. And for the Apex tier, I think it's pretty obvious: Lunastra, Teostra, and possibly Kushala if they decide to put him in the volcano. Getting into Generation 3rd, the only low monster I can see coming in would be Volvodon. He has plenty of places to roll around, and he could be a crab eater, similar to Rampapalo. As for high tier monsters, Brute Tigrex, obviously, along with Stygian Zinogre if they decide to bring him in. But this could be the return of Agnactor, spending all of its time in the very low reaches, only coming up to the top reaches for food. As for Uragon, Gravios and Uragon are both very similar with how they interact, being volcanic ore eaters. So we already have Gravios, no reason to have Uragon. Brachydios, I'm not entirely sure, just because it's oil instead of volcano, and we have no clue if the slime mold can even appear there, so that's a wait and see situation for me. And for Apex tier, obviously Double Joe. That's really the only Apex tier monster we could have that possibly could be there. Not really any Elder Dragons. Getting into Generation 4, we don't really have any low tier monsters. But for high tier monsters, Glavenus could be one of them. He is a forest and volcanic monster, along with desert, and we have a full 3 map row for him. I made this list before Title Update 2, so I wasn't sure how many maps Sergius would be on, but they could still add it in an expansion where monsters move even further into new unknown territory. And for the Apex tier coming from Gen 4, I threw in Molten Tigrex. He would be a great return for a rare species, and I hope he does come back someday soon. Getting into Generation 5, our only low tier could possibly be Dodogama, but I think it's too much oil for him to even appear here, so no for him. As for high tier monsters from World, the only two monsters I can come up with is Anjanath, Vulgar Anjanath, and Odogaron, and Ebony Odogaron. Otherwise, I don't see any other high tier monsters from World coming in. And finally for Apex, we really only have two choices, being Basilgeuse and a slim chance of Nergigante appearing. Otherwise, we got nothing else. Getting into Rise and Sunbreak, we don't really have any low tiers, so going into high tiers, Raknakaraki, obviously, and possibly, like Agnactor, possibly we might get Magma Almudron. It's a slim chance, but it's still there. The last high tier I would say is Garangolm. I still feel like they could just give him a gimmick where he travels maps and have different arms instead of always having a moss and a volcanic arm. And finally, getting into the Apex tier, I really only got three. Magnamalo, I feel like he's an invader like Basil, Rajang, and Devil Joe. Then for our Elder Dragon tier monsters, Primordial Malzeno has plenty of ore that he might eat, who knows. And finally, it's an Oilwell Basin, bring in Violet Mizutsune, the Oil Bubble Dragon. So that's my entire list. If you guys have any other monsters that you would like to see, please leave a comment and tell me why you want to see them in here. I'd love to read them and respond. But anyway, next time we'll be going over the Ice Shard Cliffs. Hopefully it won't take as long as this one.